Yeah.
I want
You know.
Fine, I guess I'll tell you my story first. Or
Okay.
do you want to hear your story first?
Okay, so how did we get into fairy tale? Please explain your story because I don't think you've ever actually told me.
Because I never really wanted to tell you.
Alright, well, tell me. Or just leave. Okay.
Trying to think. It's been so long. Because I'm a veteran. So, I watched Attack on Titan, which was the gateway for anime. And you know, that's pretty much everyone's gateway at that time was like, oh, Attack on Titan, watch it, so good, it's so, oh, Captain Levi! But anyways, but I did not like any sort of like anime or anything like that like before.
I remember you telling me about that, yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't like it. Like I was into like, oh yeah, Western cartoons, like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney, look at what they have to offer, Phineas and Ferb, Adventures, blah blah blah. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I love these. And then I look at anime and I was like, so like, I'm like a hypocrite. I was like, ew. But I was watching Legend of Korra at the time and it ended. And I was like, man, I wish there were more cartoons out there just like this with a great story and it looked really good. It didn't use super cartoony things. And then everybody was talking about Attack on Titan at the time. Watch Attack on Titan. It's good. It's good. I can't complain. So I watched it and I was like, yeah, this is really awesome. I was in on the hype train. But, you know, I'm just kind of low now. So I'm short. After I watched Attack on Titan, I was really into, like, you know, that whole culture or whatever. And I started to ease into it and like it because I was like, oh, anime is kind of like Legend of Korra. It's like, well, I mean, not really, but it's like more serious stories. And you can pick whatever you want. Oh, I want a flying penguin. Who defeats octopuses, and it's a romantic comedy. There's an anime for it. So then I was looking for another anime to watch because I was like, what do I start next? I love this. I love anime now. I love it. I'm a hypocrite.
It's almost a problem. Almost.
It's a problem. I'm worse than her. I have a problem.
She's a lot worse than I am because I like just got into it.
Finished like 3 series in a day. And I'm sure others have done worse.
She has a whole list for me back at her house of how many, roughly?
Like, well, 2 pages worth, but front and back. And those are just starter pack.
Of different anime for me to watch because I'm just now, like, getting into it. Because I've always wanted to, but I've just never done it because I never knew what to watch. So...
I didn't think I'd fall down the hole as hard as I did, but they don't lie when they say, takes your soul. Because they made it. Did you know that anime in Italian means soul? And that there was a Tumblr post. And then somebody said it means soul because the anime steals your soul.
It really does, actually. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I have an obsession. Like if I watch like one series, I have to finish it.
Yeah.
And I won't do anything until I finish that series.
Yeah.
I'm glad I got into this. But anyways, I found somebody was like, I went on a YouTube video and everybody's like, oh yeah, watch Fairy Tail. And I like clicked on another one, you know, just, you know, being a YouTube browser, like Fairy Tail's a good anime. And I was like, okay, well I guess I'll watch Fairy Tail. And I expected, you know, like Lord of the Rings style, kind of like anime going on with like, ooh, Fairy Tail, Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah. And so I watched Fairy Fairy Tail, and it's not all what I expected, but I loved it.
It suits your personality well.
I loved it. Like, and then I thought at first, because I was also watching like Death Note and like Full Metal Alchemist at the time, and I was like, yeah, these are really good. And like, you know, I already had like this huge list, and I'm watching Fairy Tail, and it was so goofy and silly, and I'm like, oh, Happy, Natsu, Lucy, Bora. Oh yeah, I watched the first episode of that. Whoa, this is really funny. Like, really funny and goofy and lighthearted. So I watched another one, I watched like 3, and then I'm like, well, I'm not gonna really watch this seriously because there's like 200 plus episodes, and I'm not that crazy. And I was like, I'm only sitting
Lies.
Stop! And I was only watching like 24 episode animes at the time, so I was like, I'm not gonna be committed like that. And so, because I never finished anything that was that long. And there are animes way longer that have actually so I was like, yeah, it's gonna be once in a while thing. And so every once in a while I would watch Fairy Tail. But then they would leave me on cliffhangers every friggin' episode, and I had to find out, and I watched it religiously. Like, every time like I took a shower or whatever, when I had to dry my hair, I would like put Fairy Tail on, put my headphones in, and be like, shh. And then the Aquarius was great, and then it was great. And then, before I knew it, I was all caught up reading the weekly mangas, whatever you say. So that's how I became trash.
You basically know.
Don't point at me, it freaks me out.
She was the reason why I got into Fairy Tail. I remember...
I drag people into the hole!
Well,
which is great.
I remember...
Stop pointing at me, I have...
Okay, I remember, when you first tried to get me into it. Because I wasn't...
Like senior year, sort of junior... No, senior year.
It was... Okay, well... I wasn't, like, you know, watching any kind of anime. I was just... you know, I really wasn't watching anything. I was watching The Walking Dead and Supernatural. Or trying to get into Supernatural, anyway. Because I made it, like, 5 seasons, and then I stopped. Don't kill me. And The Walking Dead. That's literally all I watch. Because I don't watch actual TV. That's for losers. And...
I watch animation.
And, we were in art class one day, and, she was working on some kind of project that she really didn't even have to do. She just did it because why not? And you had to make a big 3D letter and then like decorate it up with stuff relating to that letter. The point of the project was that you were supposed to do like a letter from your name or like someone you knew and then like decorate it with stuff about you. But she wanted to do a separate one for anime, so she did.
Anime.
She made a big A.
It was going to be originally A for Adventure, so I seemed at least normal.
Nice. Anime.
No, something that I really like.
And I remember, like, watching her draw Natsu to put on this letter. I remember watching you do it, and I was like, so who is this? And why does he have fire in his hand? And you were explaining it to me, but I could honestly not tell you anything that you told me because I was like, what? And I just remember
Go
thinking...
back to your trash can, you freak.
Yeah, well, I just remember thinking, like, he looks cool, but I have no idea what you just said. So I kind of just, like, shrugged it off. And then...
I did a lot to me.
Well, and then, like, you were absent or something for some while, and then, like, you came back, and you were doing the Lucy part on it.
Yeah.
And you were making, like, all the keys and everything. She was putting all the keys and everything all over it.
Those little queries. Oh, yeah, I put, like, the real keys on there.
Yeah.
Like, I drew all, like, the little symbols, and that was
And I remember watching her do that, too. And I was like, so what's the deal here? Like, what's going on? And I remember you explaining to me that they were, like, you know, spirit keys, and that she could use them.
I did tell you that.
To summon spirits, and even then I was like, what? I was so confused. And I was like, alright. And I remember you saying, like, it's all in Fairy Tail. You just need to watch Fairy Tail.
And I bet you're like, there it is again.
Yeah, well, and then I was like...
Don't you have anything better to do?
I just remember thinking, okay, Fairy Tail. Maybe I'll check that out later sometime. And I just didn't. I just completely forgot about it. Yeah, that's one of those things
where you say to someone, yeah, I'll check it out later, but you don't.
I just completely forgot. And then it was Okay, the second semester we had Art 1 together because we already had like everything else we needed and we just wanted to be in Art 1 again.
No, we wanted to sleep in the back.
We were in the back together and I remember you mentioning it like every so often, like trying to talk to me about it, but like...
I just slipped it in the conversation.
Yeah, but I was still like, I don't know what you're talking about, Hannah, I can't...
Listen, I remember I would like go through Tumblr, sitting on my little stool, and I'd be like...
Yeah, I remember that too, like you would show me this stuff, and I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I was laughing like so hard in my head, and then I showed that one, I think it was like an Allstate commercial, and it said, I bet this is what celestial spirits feel like, and
yeah,
I showed you it.
I remember that.
They're just having their day in the office, and then they poof, disappear, be like, oh, hello.
But now that is so funny to me.
It's so funny. And I remember I would always try to see if I could read the newest chapter, because sometimes, on Mondays, because I couldn't read them in time before I got to school sometimes. So I would read them at the end of class, and I'd be freaking out, like, oh, no.
Yeah, I remember that. And I just remember,
and you did it.
Well, and what was funny too is like, you know, in between, like when I actually started it and when she was trying to talk me into it, like I've been to all kinds of conventions, like in between there, and I would always see the symbol for Fairy Tale everywhere, and it actually is, if you think about it, it is crazy, but I would always see that symbol, and I would always be like, I know where that's from, I've seen it, I just don't know what it is, and it would always drive me insane, and then... it was early into the first semester of school. I don't remember when. I just remember she got me to watch The Devil is a Part-Timer, and I had forgotten about it for a while because I couldn't watch it here at home.
That's really funny.
Because the internet sucked, and we had just moved over the summer, and I couldn't watch it. And I just remember thinking about it like a couple of weeks before school started, and I was like, oh yeah, I have The Devil is a Part-Timer to watch. Let's watch it. And when school started, because like the school has internet, I would like stay up late at night just watching The Devil's a Part-Timer, and it was...
I love how we were both like talking about that, and we were both like watching the episodes, so it was just so great. I thought it's one of those animes that you just kind of discover. Yeah. Like nobody recommended it to me.
Nobody knows it. It just happens.
But I just saw a picture of Emmy, or I think that's her name.
I honestly can't remember the names. I just remember,
she was the one that hated the, main guy. She was the hero.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Their dynamic was hilarious. And she was like...
I just really liked Lucifer. He was so... I think
what
actually...
was his, name in the Japanese world, or whatever?
Shoot.
Whatever, this guy was like... everyone.
He just sat at home all day, ate, complained that nobody got him food, and
he needed the internet.
He was always on the computer buying stuff.
He always got the short end of the stick too.
Because he did try to kill like everyone. So.
Okay, yeah. But then you find out he's a complete nerd too.
He really is. He just...
Yeah, but I found a picture of Emmy and I thought she looked cool, so I looked it up and then I found it. So yeah, that's how I found it.
Well, anyway, so I finished that and then I was like... I want to watch another anime. I want to get into this. Because that was shortly... Because I had watched Steins Gate. And then that's when you suggested The Devil's a Part-Timer. And I was like, I want to watch more anime now that I'm finally, like, watching it. And then I was like, so what's one I could watch? And I think I asked Joseph to give me some suggestions, but he was in class or something, so he never responded. So I was just thinking about it, and I was like, what is one I could watch? And then I was like, Fairy Tale. Wasn't that one that someone suggested to me? And I thought about it.
It's like, you see like these images of like, fairy tale, like,
all over the place.
Of like me, but you can't really see my face. You just kind of hear fairy tale, like fairy tale. You're just like, what was that?
Because I remember like I was looking at the search bar, thinking, what could I search up? And then I was like, Fairy Tale. That was an anime, wasn't it? And I was like,
what was the one that the Hannah was throwing at my face all the time?
Yeah, and then and I even spelled it right and everything because I just remembered from somewhere. I don't think you ever wrote it down for me. I just knew. So I typed it all in and pulled it up, and I was like, this is so long. And I got excited because I was like, this is something to watch. I'll have stuff to watch every night. And that is when I got addicted.
But get caught up.
I don't want to. I do, but I don't.
It's worth it to get caught up.
I'm so close.
I would have better.
I would have already been caught up like a month ago. I would have already been caught up.
The next chapter with me. It's really good. Don't get constipated.
Yeah. I've just been trying to hold it off, so I've instead been.
Don't hold it off. You have at least 50 more to go.
I know.
54.
But it would take
55.
it would take me less than a week
60.
to get through it.
You have 60. 60 to go.
I think it's actually less than that.
You got the. You got Fairy Tail Zero. You got the whole.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even gonna say the next arc. Not even gonna say it. You get
stuff happens.
Stuff arc. Pain arc. Pain and suffering. That's what most people call it.
Pain and suffering.
You are close to the pain and suffering arc and the cute Fairy Tail Zero.
Okay, well, I'll get there eventually.
I
would have already been there like a month ago if I had actually decided to sit down and keep watching it like I have been, but I've realized that I'm getting closer to the end and I don't want to be yet because it's too great. But yeah, that's how I got into Fairy Tail. You do know I'm gonna look at this later.
You said a keyword, so. Oh, I remember in newspaper class I showed you the picture of, because you showed me a picture of that one girl from Steins Gate, and I'm like, oh, she looks like Urza, and I pulled up everyone from Fairy Tail.
Oh,
and you were like,
oh my gosh, I remember that.
I was like, see, look, and you just shrugged it off, and you looked at these characters.
I was so confused though, because I was like, what is going on here? Because they all just look so crazy to me.
You looked at these characters, you're like, well, they look crazy, and I'm like.
Well, because I had been watching, like, serious anime for a while, and I was like, what is that?
And as bad as it gets, those aren't the craziest designs I've ever seen.
I know!
I watched this one, I only watched one episode of, like, this one called Awakawa Under the Bridge or something like that. Weird designs. Weird.
I remember that, and I was just like, what is that? They look crazy. There's just color
except for
everywhere.
Natsu, he looks pretty good.
But now that, you know, because I remember too watching the first episode and just feeling like I was not lost. I understood like everything that was going on, but it was just like all in your face. And
yeah, it was kind of like really fast going.
Yeah, I mean like, but
because it was setting everything up, but it was just all like bam, bam, bam.
But like I liked that because. Like, when I read stuff, I hate stuff that takes forever to explain a scene or something that's going on. Or, like, even playing a game that does that, because I have had that happen, and it's like, move on, I know, I understand, I know what I'm doing.
Alduin, can you please die already?
Yeah, like, just go, okay? And I liked that one constantly just kept going. Like, there was no long explanation here. And, like, I appreciated that. And I liked how no matter what happens, it comes back to explain itself later. Like, it does not need to be explained right here, right now. It'll all come back and just click.
That's right. Even in the beginning episodes, hints are dropped at, like, because everything comes back, even to, like, where I'm, like, caught up to, whatever, now, on the current stuff. It all goes back to episode 1.
That's awesome.
All goes back to episode 1, if you know what I'm talking about.
That's awesome. I appreciate
Fateful
that.
encounter. Fateful encounter. Don't read the comments if there are any comments. There might be spoilers.
Okay. If anybody actually does watch this.
Everybody meets up in Harjion, ladies and gentlemen. And it's fate. It's freaking destiny. Sorry.
Don't spoil anything in the comments, okay? Because I'm not caught up yet by choice. And we don't want to spoil anything for anybody else. Like, it all comes full circle, and like, being a writer and a reader, I appreciate that, because that's awesome. And, I like how, because, like, watching the first episode, I was just, like, instantly into it. Because, what's the first thing it shows? Like, Natsu's on the train.
Well, as soon as I saw Natsu, I'm like, hello.
Well, instantly, I saw him, like, on the train there, and I did not, like, recognize him from, like, even you drawing him and showing me. For some reason, like, nothing clicked yet. I was still just, like, so focused on trying to...
I always saw, like, his character somewhere everywhere, and I was like, that's who that character is.
Well, see, like, it was, like, I knew him, but I didn't, because it was like I was just so focused on trying to figure out like the story, like how it was gonna start.
I was kind of confused with the salamander thing, because I was like, who's Salamander?
Yeah, but then like,
it's just, like
now it's like all of that makes
Oh!
sense. Everything makes sense, but I just remember starting it off, and then like Natsu's like in the bottom of the train there, and Happy's trying to wake him up, and Happy's voice like sort of hit me and
hit you in the face.
and I don't think I told you this, but like for some reason the first thing that came to mind was Pokemon.
What?
Because he was a little blue cat that is not normal, but for some reason he was talking, and he was talking to Natsu, and I was like, what? Because there was no explanation. It was just thrown at you. Here's this blue cat trying to wake up Natsu, and he gets stuck on the train. And I was like, okay, this is off to a good start. Like, that instantly drew me in for some reason, because I was like, I was so curious.
You like cats.
Well, yeah, but like, I was so curious, because I was like, so what's gonna happen now? What's going on? Why are they here? Why were they on a train? Who are these two?
Why is he sick?
Like, yeah, like, why was he so sick? Why
does he have abs and he's sick?
Like, I had so many questions instantly, so I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. And then, like, it was showing Lucy.
Your hair would look great on my wall.
And then, like, I remember when Lucy showed up, and I instantly just thought, oh my gosh, like, anime.
Yeah.
Just how she looked, but, like, it didn't bother me that much, because I was just like, anime. But I just remember her talking about, like, looking for the keys.
I was confused, because I was like, why did she look for keys? And then it, like, clicked, too.
Yeah.
So she explained it.
Because I remember, like, you know, oh, this is, like, a really small, kind of sucky magic shop, because, you know, she's been to other ones. And there were so many questions that I had, because I was just like, okay, what are these keys?
Is that a dog? Is that type of bug? What is that?
Where?
I'm talking about Pluto.
Oh, I thought you were actually
I'm not talking about
something. I was
Jalal.
like, it's probably a ladybug somewhere. I think the whole key thing also drew me into, because I just have this weird obsession with keys. Probably because of Kingdom Hearts, I think. It's like a psychological thing. But, I like keys. I like having them. I love skeleton keys. And
you have a skeleton.
Well, not really.
I'm sorry.
I have one skeleton key. And then, like, all of my Kingdom Hearts keys. And I have all of Lucy's keys, too.
Way to go. Way to jack her keys. You know how hard it was for her to get those?
Too bad, they're mine now.
I get you.
Anyway, I just remember, like, she found, like, Clue's key. And I was like, okay, so you collect keys. I kind of like you a little bit more.
I thought it was really unique for me, like, the keys, how she could summon.
Yeah.
Like, and then, like, the golden keys. I thought that was so cool.
All, like,
I was like...
the Zodiac and all. I liked that.
And then, man, as soon as Aquarius showed up, that girl was awesome.
Oh, my gosh. I remember seeing that, and I was like, who is this? I like her already.
Yeah.
And then, like, the
so
instant
cool.
backsass that she gave Lucy,
Oh,
and
man.
I was like...
Oh, man. She's like,
You are
man.
so cool.
I want to wash you away with it. Like, no.
And then Happy just wanted to eat her.
A giant fish.
Not for you.
You stupid cat. Man, Lucy was so happy.
She was really mean to him. I mean, like, not that she isn't now, but she's a lot nicer to him now than she was then.
That was hilarious.
Which
though.
is funny because, like, they just met.
They instantly had this connection.
Like, they just, yeah.
Like, that was too good.
And then, because Natasha had a hard time after watching the first episode. Like, she had to stop for about 10 minutes and comprehend what just happened. But for me...
Probably because Gray wasn't in it. Ray Sama wasn't in it.
Probably. For me, I was instantly hooked, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta keep watching.
Yeah,
I need to watch more
It was
and
so
more.
funny.
And I just loved it. Just loved it so instantly.
It was so happy and funny. Like, yeah, that's what I loved. And energetic.
Yeah, it was just, loved it. And then they introduced the other characters in the second episode. And I was like, what is going on? Why is everybody fighting and dying? What is happening? And it's funny, I love going back to watch an episode now because I've caught so many things now that I didn't before because I understand things now. And it was like Loki picks her up and is something like, all women need to be treated like really nice or something like that. And then Elfman comes in and kicks him. And it's like, I told you to butt out or something. And then like Natsu comes in and kicks Elfman. And like Lucy's just gone. I don't know where she went.
Oh my gosh, did you they were having this guild brawl, and then like Mira's like talking to Lucy like, yeah, they do this all the time. Bam!
Elfman comes flying
out, and then like
don't die, Mira.
Your little ghost like just met you, and she looked up to her, and then Grace like comes over like, excuse me, miss, can I borrow your underwear? No, you pervert.
Yeah, because that's when Loki comes in and like scoops her up.
Yeah.
And I had never noticed it before because I did not like Loki yet. And I just thought, like, I didn't really have an opinion of him yet.
I didn't like, me either.
Because, like, I knew
it was like a Playboy type.
Yeah, because, like, it just introduced him as the Playboy of Fairy Tale. And I was like,
I never liked those characters.
Okay, whatever. And, like, I just moved on. But then he started to show up more often. And then I was like,
she likes Loki.
Yes. Oh my gosh, he is my senpai. You have no idea. Anyway, I'll have to show you the picture Hannah drew for me later. It's on my fridge. Highest honor. It's on my fridge. Like, as he kept showing up, for some reason I was just, like, drawn to him. Like, there was something about him. I was like, you're cool for some reason, but I don't know why yet.
You keep it low-key.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then when it got to hit, that might be a bad idea. Because that's when I was like, oh my gosh, I love Loki. Because... Anyway, yeah.
Tastes like government conspiracy.
I'm pretty sure I was texting you when I got there. Cause when
I got ink poisoning.
Probably. Because I remember when I got to Loki's arc, it was that point I realized I actually really like you a lot.
Yes.
You're cool. And then when it got to where it was saying how he was a celestial spirit, I was like,
okay, that was awesome.
Dude, oh my gosh.
This is like the Loki section of this.
Yeah, we're just gonna fangirl about Loki for like 5 minutes. Just give me a second. But it was when he was about to die. And like, I was seriously upset. But like, I did not, all up until that point, I felt absolutely nothing for him because like, he wasn't important enough. And I thought the Changeling episode was funny. But like, I just did not care a lot about him. I just thought he was some side character and just whatever. But then, like, it got to that arc, and I was, like, so torn up about it, because I was like, you better save him, Lucy, because I like him. He cannot die. And I think I was texting you, and I was like, I really like Loki, and I don't know why, and he's so awesome, and I need help. And then that's when I decided, oh, hey, he actually reminds me a little bit of Joseph, just a little bit. And then it showed him in his suit and everything when he was like Leo, and I was like, I melted.
Listen, as soon as like I did like Loki in his arc, you know, and then as soon as he showed up in that suit, I was like, he's awesome.
Wow, like that hit me hard.
I think it hit a lot of people hard, really.
It did, and I loved him from that point on. And then when he shows up like at the end of the episode and is like loving all over Lucy, I shipped them so hard. But I loved him. But I shipped them so hard. No.
No.
Lily for life.
No.
Anyway.
Pink and blonde look good together. Just a color fact.
Anyway,
That's okay.
Anyway, from that point on, I loved him. I'm going to cosplay as Gingerbit Loki because apparently that's not a thing. So
yeah, that's weird. It's weird it's not there.
I've looked it up, I don't know how many times. I've only ever found maybe like 3 or 4 fan art images on the whole internet. And that's it. For a gender bent Loki. But, you know, you've got gender bent Lucy.
Yeah, you need me to.
And Natsu. Like, you have gender bent everybody else. Literally everybody else except him. And I don't get it. And so I'm gonna start that. I'm gonna be the one to cosplay.
I've seen a gender bent Mary Jane too.
Really?
He's a bartender. I haven't seen a gender bent Kana.
That would be interesting.
I think I'll do that.
Wouldn't that just be Bacchus? I feel like. I mean.
Bacchus, or however you say it. How do you say that? I don't know. I kind of like. I like him though.
I do too.
Like, I don't like the fact how he's first introduced.
He's
as
really
like,
rude, but
yeah,
I like him.
But I do like him. He's just like, whatever.
And I think it's funny how he gets like super powerful when he's drunk. Cause like that's so funny.
Yeah.
Cause
like who pointed it out?
Everybody thinks that they're a lot better when they're drunk, no matter what it is. You think you're better at everything.
But he is better.
But he is actually better when he's drunk, and it's super funny.
Like who pointed that out? Anyways, was it Mary Jane or somebody? Who pointed that? Like he's super powerful when he's drunk.
Who? I want to say Kana was actually the one that pointed that out.
Oh, was she?
It was either Kana or Urza because Urza fought him, didn't she? And that was why she was talking about it, because she was talking about it with Gray and Natsu and them.
It might have been. Yeah, I think it's either.
That was the fight with Elfman, right?
Yeah.
And then, because that's what she was like, I'm really worried about this, because he's got his drink down there.
Yeah, that had to have been her. I didn't really like how he's introduced at first, like, yeah, I'll take you, blah, blah, blah. You know,
like, coming into the... Yeah,
and I was like,
so weird.
That rubbed me the wrong way. But like afterwards, I feel like he's just a chill guy.
He's just a drunkard.
But that's I like him. He's just like a chill guy, a drunk guy.
That's all it is.
Really, he's pretty cool. I don't hate anybody in Fairy Tail. They're all awesome. Like in the series, I can find anybody that I hate.
I actually cannot think of anybody that I.
Word. I love them all. Even
even the bad guys, like you just don't hate them because they end up like turning around later anyway. So it's like,
and even if they are really like bad, then it's just like, well, whatever. Not like I hate them. I'm trying to think of
the only ones that right now, at this moment, that I do not have any kind of positive feeling for, but it's not really super negative either, would be the Raventail. Is that what that is?
Oh, Raventail.
Yeah, because I don't really... They're weird.
Yeah, they're...
like, what was her name? Flair or something like that?
Flair, man. Like...
when I saw her, I was like...
I freaked out a little
creepy.
Bit. I was like, put a sweater on, my lady.
Like, when it first showed her, like, just the way that she stands and, like, her... face, and I'm just like
dang, put her to a chiropractor.
She's not okay. And then when she was fighting Lucy, I was like, chill.
She was crazy, like crazy.
And wanted to kill what's her face, and I'm like, you don't do that. You don't kill toddlers. What is no?
Yeah, I know, Asuka.
Yeah.
Oh
and
gosh.
I'm so glad that Natsu like had his dragon ears going.
Yeah, for real, right? Like spider sense going.
I heard you. I heard you.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh,
like
she was weird.
I will tell you, I don't really care for the Raventail people all that much.
See, like I still don't hate them, but I
hate them, but just
slightly dislike them because they're really weird. And
but I will tell you, later on, you might like one of the characters a little bit because one of the characters is given a story. So.
Well, it better not be Flair because she's weird.
But one of the characters, I will say.
Okay, alright.
So, yeah.
You all probably know what she's talking about, and I don't. That's okay.
Sun Village art, baby.
Don't comment anything, because I will be looking at this stuff.
Comment.
Okay, do it. Go for it. Because I already gave my spiel about Loki. I scream. Literally scream every time Loki shows up now because he's never there. Like, ever.
Yeah, she freaks out.
So I
also freak out, too. Cause
I freak out. She just freaks out because it's Loki. I mean, like,
cool.
everybody
Cool.
freaks out because it's Loki.
But you freak out, like, on different levels.
Because
but that's
I don't see him, and he's my favorite. And it's like, come on. Because that always happens to me. My favorite characters always either die right away or they just vanish.
Yeah, you would pick those guys. Good thing you didn't pick Jalal.
Well, I mean, I kind of did.
Gildarts. I do like Jalal's like up there.
Jalal is my second favorite.
Jalal's awesome.
He's like right up there with Loki though. And then Gajiel is
man,
a close third.
Great. We found out, with Jalal, he is the only, like, I would say one of the only gentlemen in the guild. Or, not the guild,
like the whole
series.
Place.
Because everybody else is kind of pervy. But Jalal is actually, he's not, like,
all over
he's
everyone.
He's a
so
gentleman.
nice to everyone.
Like, and y'all will know, like, in the, if you've watched the spoilers for the Christmas chapter or whatever that came out, spoilers. And I already told you about this. Where, like, Urza was like, I'm not giving you any context. No, I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to ruin it. I mean, I told you about this, so I don't know if you remember.
Yeah. I feel like I very, very vaguely remember you telling me something about it, but I don't.